Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Upload Labs. Something new for the channel, but something I'm a little familiar with. I've seen some stuff on it, but I wanted to give it a shot myself. And, who knows, maybe you guys will like it. So the premise of this game is it's, an automation kind of factory on a grid. You'll kind of get, I guess there's like some incremental idler type stuff in it as well. But if you want to see more stuff like this, let me know. Hit the subscribe button. Let me know down in the comments. But yeah, let's hop right into this. So immediately thrown into a tutorial here. Let's see. Manage list. So connections, green to green. So it looks like we have some download speed. We're using the download speed to actually download something. And then we output into the bin. Okay. Connections go from left to right. Outputs send resources while inputs receive resources. Remove a connection by dragging from an input. Okay. Now let's add a node to upload our downloaded files. Okay. So open the nodes. We have an uploader. Okay. Also right here. So we just drag this to here. Makes sense. And then we want upload speed. Boom. So the way this kind of works is you have your download and upload speed, and you connect them to different modules. And those modules produce things. You're either downloading something. Eventually, you'll modify these things. You upload them, and eventually, you get money, right? So it's telling us now we're going to need to add a node to collect money, right? So we go to utilities. We go to a collector, and one of the things you might notice is that the inputs and outputs are color coded and shape coded, right? So triangle, triangle, boom. We don't need a bid for now, so let's delete it. And we just delete it. There we go. Now just need some cash. So I guess we'll kind of let this thing run for a second and see what kind of cash we get. We do have things in here. So these points are used for, I don't know what you would call them. I guess like skill tree type stuff. So these are like little achievements. They give you these points. You see right here. And then those, I think, no, this is like the guidebook, but they eventually, I think, get you to unlock something. But that comes a little bit later in the game, right? So I think we're just waiting for money. Vector, splitter, folder, allocator. Network, uploader, text downloader. Okay. Oh, just got to collect the money. Duh. So there we go. Collecting money. We can upgrade things. Obviously, this is like an upgradable type game. So, we do that. Things will go faster. You can really like rearrange things to be kind of whatever suits you. You know what I mean? So we can upgrade again. And you'll notice everything is kind of going quicker. New upgrades available, obviously. Not quite enough. So I'm going to go ahead and collect this achievement, right? So upload your first file. So we're going to take that. We've got 25 of these points. Now down here, this is what I was thinking about. So here's where you can actually like upgrade all of your different pieces. Some use money. Eventually they'll also use, these might actually be, there are other things. I don't quite remember, right? So I guess we need to get 800 now. And we can increase the text value. Okay, so that's nice. So now we should be getting money faster, right? More money. I know there's a lot. So there's going to be a lot in this game when it comes to like, optimizing and all that kind of stuff. And we'll kind of dive into that as it comes up. Okay, so I think, we built up a little bit of money. I think the CPU, I think that's the kind of the big thing we need to get to, right? But I think it's still worth in the interim increasing the amount of value we get from our stuff, because I think in the long run that will let us accumulate money faster, right? And that's kind of what this is all about, right? So like now we're getting 69 nice 69 monies per second. Oh, what is this? Oh, just a little, it tells you what it is, right? So we pretty much already recovered our cost on that. Pretty nice. pretty nice to get all that back. But yeah, you know, most idle games, it's just literally you're just kind of waiting. So I think when you unlock the CPU, you're gonna get other modules, right? Like I said, this one of the reasons that I wanted to hop into this game again. I've played it a while back. There's been updates and upgrades, and I just saw some stuff coming out that they're doing like a 2.0, and it looks kind of like crazy, really, really cool, especially if you're in a game like this. So I want to kind of, you know, get the juices flowing, remember kind of how everything goes, and kind of be ready for when that drops. So, all right, so we got the 4K now, so let's get the CPU, and that is a node here. So we have the processor, which provides clock speed. Okay, we don't quite need clock yet. And we have the processing celler. Okay, so what we're gonna do, this is kind of where this game comes in. So let's create a processor. And I think just like right off the bat, you're just given one, and it literally just turns this clock speed into money. And we can just throw that in there. And now all of a sudden, we're making just gobs of money. Oh, look at this. And this game does, you know, you can zoom out pretty far, you can zoom in, you can eventually like group things and all kind. There's a lot of customization, and you can really kind of like, I think there's even like blueprints and stuff. You can really get yourself dialed in. And now that we have the processor, we've unlocked a lot of different options here, right? So yeah, so like antivirus, right? Like I mentioned before, you'll be modifying. So we got these text files. You're going to modify them, increasing their value, right? And that's kind of the name of this game, right? You're producing something, modifying it, selling it for money. And this game just has a lot of different ways to do that. And you're just trying to ultimately optimize it all, right? And I mean, we've got a cool almost 20K. We can do, see, the request uploader, that goes, oh, here we go. Here's some more shops. We'll look at this in a second. The request uploader, if you look at this tab right here, requests, you'll notice it's asking for text files. And the way you get that is with the request uploader, right? So it's a special kind of repository deposit area that, in fact, I think I could just show you. All right, so close out of this. We have a new network node, and that is, so uploader, request uploader. Okay, so the way this works is you're going to take this output. Now you are able to split the outputs, right? So right now you can kind of see how many we can process 0.32 text files per second, because that's like what we're making. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to send this output over here, right? And it's going to half it, right? 0.16, 0.16. We can maybe collect some of this and upgrade this a little bit, just so things go a little bit faster. But you'll notice this isn't doing anything, right? Because this also needs upload speed. So we're gonna have to take our upload speed and allocate some over here. And now what this is doing, you'll notice that 7 out of 100. If we go back in here and look at the request, this is being fulfilled, right? And we're getting these little circle things, which if we go down to the shop here, perks and boosts. Boosts, this is kind of, you can do this. I think you can also pay for this stuff with real money. But the perks are, from what I remember, they're pretty much like permanently unlocked. And some of these things, like the node group, this is how you can like actually create effectively blueprints, right? Auto collector is a big deal because it does this, but automatically. So you don't ever have to, you don't have to keep clicking it. I think it's a worthy like early upgrade. In fact, I'm gonna give us a little bit more clock speed. I'm gonna double that so that we accumulate money even faster. It might be worth also increasing the text value. So you see we're going from 96 to 128. So very, I don't want to say like binary upgrading or like exponential upgrading, but it kind of is, right? Things tend to double. If we're to upgrade in here, 64, we should be at 128. Oh, 90. Okay, so I guess it's not double everywhere, but 180. And again, this is all, it's all dictated by how much these are worth versus times your speed, times all that kind of stuff, right? So kind of the faster you go, the faster we can make more progress, right? And that's like very typical of these types of games. Right now we're kind of just waiting. You know, we got some kind of like milestones. This might be worth getting because the processing accelerator will get, you know, right now it looks like it's a 2-to-1 as far as the money's concerned. Oh, okay. So we've unlocked the image downloader, and this is kind of what I was alluding to earlier. So we start with text files. The next step up are going to be images, right? And then that's, you know, the images are going to be bigger, right? This is 100 bytes. They're going to be kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, maybe terabytes. I don't know. So they're going to get bigger. It's going to tax your system more. You know, it's like a progression thing. I think you can even like prestige in this game too, right? But I definitely want to. This is kind of my priority right now. So I'm actually going to take this off because I want this thing to just like fill up quick so that we can get the auto collector, because it's just going to make things a lot easier, and I'm not going to have to remember to grab this every single time, right? So let's let this fill up real quick. And we're just about to round this out with 100. So request completed text, that's all up here. And you can see, again, more of these little circle currency things. So we got those, and now I can come here and we can do the auto collector. Again, I think this is one of the most important upgrades early on because it just makes your life easier, right? So if we come down here, we should see, is it one of these? Auto collector. Okay. So you see very similar interface. We just take this off, collect the money in there. We can just delete that. And we're just going to literally map this output, and now, boom. Look at that. The money floweth into our little bank up here, and we can kind of upgrade and do whatever we need to whenever we need to do it, right? So this is kind of far off, 600K. I mean, it doesn't seem like far off, but it kind of is. So what I'm going to do, let's kind of move things around here. I'm going to kind of move this up and out of the way, right? I'll zoom out a little bit here. So let's just imagine that this guy is hanging out, not really needed, but I want to kind of set the stage here so that we can really see like what's going on, right? Because the next thing I want to unlock is this antivirus. And this is kind of one of the core things of this game. In fact, I'm going to do this too since we have the money. Just while I'm in there, right? This is one of the core things of the game, right? So we have these text files, and you know, right now they're worth X amount, but now we have a virus scanner, right? And you'll notice the virus scanner node is a little bit different. It has a clock speed input and a square input. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to detach that, right? We still have some built up, so it's kind of doing its thing. We're still making money from here, so no big deal. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get this pretty close, and I'm just going to put the text files right into the virus scanner. And you'll notice this actually has two outputs. It has one, I think this one is like quote unquote infected, and this one isn't, right? So we're actually going to divert a little clock speed up here. And right now this is producing outputs. I believe there's like a price difference, and in fact, I think we can look in the help article here. Basic files. Yeah, so you can see infected, which is reduced value, and scanned, which is increased value, right? So, you know, a quarter of the output, 4 times the output, I think that just keeps the output at 1. But eventually, you're going to be able to handle these infected files and cleanse the infection, right? So for now, what we're going to do is I think we're just going to route both of these back here. No, it only wants 1. Okay. So then what we're going to do is we're going to make a second uploader. Network node. Here we go. Now, this is going to cut into kind of what we're doing, right? Because we need to divert some upload speed to this. And we'll just, here, we'll do this just so it looks cleaner. We'll do that. Boom. One thing we can do. So we have this collector. We still have this request uploader, right? One of the things that this game does is it's going to give you, we can take that. these are all the things that are being requested, right? So it's looking for scanned texts. So what you can do is you can divert a little of that, a little of that, right? In the early game, it's kind of like messy, we'll say, right? It'll be cleaner later on, but for now, I think I just want to kind of get that going. Maybe upgrade where we can, get a little bit more clock speed, get a little bit more upload speed, just to kind of get the ball rolling. You know what I mean? What do we have coming up? We can make text files. Okay, so really like the big thing is the image downloader. I don't think, yeah, we're starting that. You see, we did upload an infected file. Remove viruses, corrupted files. Again, this is all stuff we're going to unlock over time. And man, there's even some stuff in here, honestly, that I don't recognize because I think this game is even updated since I played it. So even though I got the basics, we're kind of going through this together. You know, there's definitely elements of this that I haven't done. So I'm kind of just exploring this with you guys. We might as well give ourselves a little bit more of this. Auto collectors are going. And one thing I do want to make a note of, if you look at the relative values, it's not quite 4-to-1 because remember this is being split, right? It's going, we're doing 2, but it's still like quite a bit more money for the scanned files versus the infected files. I mean, obviously the infected files still, you know, generate income, but not nearly as much. So it just kind of shows you the value of processing everything as fully as possible, right? And you know, if you're into this and you want to, there's paid things you can do. I think it gives you, you know, boosts and things like that. But you know, I'm not gonna do that. I don't remember if this game's free or not. I have it in my library. I don't remember if I paid for it, but I can't imagine even if you do pay for it, it's cheap. If somebody knows, let me know down in the comments. But I think you can hop in this game pretty easily. Okay, so we've maxed out how much the text files will sell for. So now, again, I think, you know, we went from pennies to 3.21K dollars per second, which is, you know, pretty quick. 600K, what is it, like 200 seconds or something that we'd have to wait. I think images are really the next thing to go. I don't know if there's too much more. Some of these might be worth unlocking in the near future. Like I said, the node group is for organization. It might be worth it now. I'm looking to see if there's anything that I would maybe rather have. I'm not quite seeing anything. This one might be kind of nice. But again, these are also super expensive, so it might be worth just kind of getting the low-hanging fruit. But we still have a bit of ways to go. In fact, I might get more clock speed because that should make this go faster and sell us more. Oh, that actually seemed to unlock some stuff too. Okay, yeah. 4 million, 5 million. So you can kind of see, like, I don't even know what premium images are. Oh, this is just never mind. This is just the thing to pay to get the value up higher, right? So it's kind of the same thing we did for the text files, but just for that. So I think we're kind of playing the waiting game till about 600K where we can unlock the images, because I don't see too much more that we can do. So we'll just kind of hop forward to that point and then go from there. Okay, so we're back after a while. I've unlocked a couple things because I want to really illustrate what you can do in this game. So you can see we have the image downloader here. This is an example of a much larger file, right? These are text downloader, text files, 100 bytes. Images, 10 kilobytes, right? So that's what, like 1,000 times bigger, something like that. So it's going to tax your system more. It's going to take longer, and that's effectively how the game scales, right? So early priorities, upload, download speed. The more you do with that, the faster things go. Clock speed, I think, is good early on because you can just sell it for just straight up money. You see, we're at 25.5K now. We were stressing about being at like 3K not even that long ago, right? So really important. I also think, looking at the uploads and things we have, or the upgrades, we're not really unlocking more nodes yet. And I mean, we're about to get 4 million and get the GPU. The GPU is its own thing. This should unlock other stuff for us as well. But really what you want to do is figure out optimal ways to lay things out and do it. What new upgrades are available? Crypto value. GPU crypto. Interesting. What could that be? We'll see at 4 million. So again, yeah, this is the, what is it called again? It is called the node group, right? So node groups let you put stuff on top of them, and they act like a mat, or like a way to group everything, right? So eventually what you're going to do is, when you are processing all this stuff, like I mentioned before, you're going to find kind of this way, that's this optimal way of laying things out. And I would recommend you throw it into a node group, because then you can move everything around, blah, 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 blah. It's like so easy. And then, yeah, you just kind of like keep unlocking, right? So let's get the GPU, because that sounds exciting. And this stuff doesn't really have, here, we're just gonna throw this over here for now. So GPU looks very similar to the processor, very similar to the network node, right? Only now we're dealing with red circles. So we have some clock speed, and you may have noticed in the GPU node, we also have Litecoin, which is a miner. So we are mining Litecoin, but we need to sell it. Now you'll notice, upside down red triangle, right side up green triangle. These are not compatible. So there should be something in here. A crypto seller. There you go. This is here. We're gonna need to move this out of the way a little bit to kind of have this thing. So crypto is kind of its own thing in this game, right? And what you do is you put the crypto in there, and then what this does is this generates coins. The coins go into the seller. The seller does not actually sell anything, but it gives you like a market, right? So it's a fluctuating market, and you'll eventually unlock different types of crypto with different volatility. And it's all manual, right? It's at 0. I have no Litecoins now. Now I have 1. So now that you'll start to see this fluctuate, right? So right now it's like at the bottom, and it could sell for 600,000, but it could keep going up more. And the whole thing is like, you have to kind of keep an eye on this, right? I believe eventually you unlock a way to set parameters for it to auto sell for you. But until you do that, you have to pay attention. And again, look, I mean, it's at 9. It's not even at full value yet, and it's already going to give me almost 2 million, right? Crypto is a very good way of getting ahead early. You know what I mean? So here's another thing that I was mentioning. Antivirus Plus unlocks the quarantine, which removes viruses. If you remember, over here we have scanned. We have scanned files. We go back to our help here. We have a scanned, and we have an infected. At 120 million, we can unlock the ability to get rid of that infected. And that'll make it so that these are both scanned. And that's where something else comes into play, right? So you got to think, again, it's always about organization. You can 100% spaghetti this. There's nothing wrong with playing that way. But I promise you that, I can't tell unless I hover over these, like just at a glance, which one is specifically going where, right? The game does give you some tools. A folder lets you get the two of the same, or combine multiple outputs into one output. Well, and that's perfect when you have things like multiple scanned files that you're going to get that you want to send to an uploader or whatever, right? So just, you got to remember the tools, remember the organization you have. I'm going to sell my Litecoin because that was 14 million. You can see it was at 200%. Comes crashing down as the portfolio ends. And then another thing, you increase the GPU speed, and it doubles the amount of Litecoin that we generate, right? And GPU is pretty expensive. but it does lead to a lot of money, right? So how are we doing on images? Okay, so we still need, I'm just directly uploading images to kind of get to the request achievement so I can generate more of the points here. It might be worth, because this is going so fast. Let's make another request. I don't know if I want to. We're kind of taxing our upload speed, and I don't know if I want to divert it just yet, because we're still so early on that it's super like low. No, let's just get another one. We're almost at a kilobit per second, but look how much faster this is going now, right? So now, you know, this should only take a couple seconds because our download speed is so much higher, because we only have 2 things downloading. But you'll also notice the ratios, right, of how many of these can download versus in the time it takes one of these to download. It's just something you got to pay attention to. Increase image value. We will need that, but I don't really see a point to that just yet. Let's increase the processor stuff, the selling the clock speed, just because it's useful, you know? In fact, let's get a little bit more. Let's get a little bit more money. Nothing wrong with more money. So anyways, guys, I think this is a good, I don't know. We're kind of waiting until 120 million, right? Because the unlocking the antivirus is really where you're going to see kind of like the chains of processing that happen. And there's all kinds of stuff. There's, you know, you're eventually going to get more crypto. You're eventually going to be able to turn GPU cores into clock speed, right? And you're going to unlock different modules that process files differently and do different things. And it gets complicated. Like, it really does. And, you know, I don't know if we've gotten far enough to really like get a grasp on what's going on and all that. But I think this is a good place to stop. You know, I don't want to go too deep into this, and, you know, I want to give you a chance to kind of understand what's going on and see if you even like this game. If you guys want to see more of stuff like this, I've got a couple of these games. I'm going to make the videos because they're games that I enjoy, and I'm really, you know, I'm trying to do videos of stuff that I just enjoy playing. You know, I love the Satisfactories, I love Fortress Craft, I love those kind of games, and there's definitely going to continue being those kind of videos, but those take a little bit more effort. This is something I could just sit down and kind of talk to you guys for half an hour and just kind of run through and explain what I'm doing. And, you know, I think it's a chill time. I think luckily it's not like a super hard to follow game in this case, and hopefully I'm doing a good enough job explaining everything as I'm doing it. So I think I'll end it here. If we do another one, you know, I'm gonna get further into the unlocks, because I think that's really where this game starts to take off. And there's definitely some elements of this game as you progress that are a little confusing, and hopefully, I mean, some of it still confuses me, and some of you might be veterans of this game and know the fixes and the solves, and I'll definitely be relying on you guys in the comments to kind of help me out. But where there are instances where I do maybe know a little something, I'll do my best to kind of explain what I'm doing. Because like I said, this game has changed a bit, and it looks like it's about to change quite a bit more in the not too distant future with the 2.0 update. So anyways, guys, I hope you don't mind this kind of game. I know it's a little bit different than what I usually upload, but, you know, I do like a variety of things, and I want to bring a variety of things to this channel, and, you know, especially because I'm trying to revitalize it and get it going again. So let me know what you guys think down below. Hit the subscribe button if you did, if you like it. Hit the likes, whatever you want, you know, all the good YouTube things. So anyways, guys, thank you all so much, and we'll see you in the next one.